Hello everybody, hope that you are very well and welcome to this evening's cryptocurrency technical analysis, where of course we are going to be jumping into the Bitcoin charts today. I hope that you are all very well. I have a bit of a plan for this evening, starting off with, of course, I have to start off with the big news. Well, first of all, before we get to the big news, as always, I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to absolutely smash the like and smash the retweet on that latest tweet, make people know we're live, make people know we are ready and looking today for the potential Bitcoin crash. I mean, if we're going to crash, you have to think this is the region we're going to crash from. It is such an important level on the Bitcoin chart. It really, really is. And I don't mean that in any sort of extravagant way. This is truly an important level for Bitcoin. So we are going to have to monitor this, go through this, explain the resistance, explain what we can be looking for. And, is this going to end in a bear trap overall? Or are we actually going to be, seeing $60,000? So that's what I'm going to be covering tonight. So if you want to smash the like, smash the retweets on that tweet, I mean, thank you ever so much. I will say that straight away. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And continuing with the thanks, I'm going to go on and really quickly start with an even bigger thanks. And that is because, well, obviously, you're going to have to be following on Twitter to know any of this, because otherwise you're not in the know. But basically, Chart Champions YouTube account got banned. We got banned from YouTube. Basically, a lot of haters mass reporting our channel for false reasons. There was no reason at all for us to receive the ban. A lot of bad things going on. But as thankfully the community that we had, we rallied the troops. Everybody got smashing the likes, smashing the retweets. We appealed the decision, obviously, to YouTube, and yes, of course, that ended with we won. So I just wanted to start really by saying thank you ever so much, everybody, obviously, for that help that you gave us yesterday, because truly, without the support, there's no way YouTube would have responded. There's just no way they would have ever responded. So it's only because of the support. It's only because you've all smashed the likes and the retweets on that one, got the attention of YouTube, and they must have been like, oh my god, another email from CC Pool. After they received the 500th email, they actually decided to look into it. They admitted they made a mistake, and yes, although it was frustrating, we got rid of that ban, and yes, we won against YouTube ban. So yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying thank you all ever so much. We done it, we won, and it feels good to win against YouTube. So yeah, for the people that were spam reporting us, hey, we also won that ban as well in the end. So the ban is no longer here, of course, because here I am making a video on YouTube. But for the people that were, hey, you can pause and read this, and hey, CC Pool send their regards, I suppose. So yeah, with that introduction of just a big thank you from me and everybody really at Chart Champions, and you guys and girls watching this, thank you ever so much. So with that said, obviously you are here for the best technical analysis on YouTube. We do not say that lightly. We are going to be going through the charts today. I've got a little bit of a plan of how we're going to approach this. I'm going to approach this looking at where we obviously come from, because you always have to remember an important part of trading is recognizing the context. And you'll hear me say this a lot. Yeah, if you're inside of the Chart Champions group, you'll hear me say this a lot. Context is the most important factor, because let's say, for example, you have let's say you have a CC Fibonacci resistance, and you just short every single Fibonacci resistance, your win rate is not going to be good, because you have to understand, okay, how are we approaching that resistance? And, in what way are we approaching? Is it a short squeeze? Is it a grind up into the resistance? Is it a really quick move up into resistance? What's the volume behind this move? What's the open interest behind this move? How much strength are we seeing into the move? Is this coming from a really big retracement? Is this coming from a period of sideways? E.g., the context of how you approach a level is arguably the most important thing in trading. And I truly mean that. If you cannot read the context of how you are approaching a level, in what circumstances you are approaching it, well, you're probably going to lose more trades than you should, because 100%, I definitely mean that you have to be able to understand how you are approaching the level. Okay, so I'm going to start off with obviously expanding a little bit upon, this whole move to the upside, what this move has been, and, bringing it then down to a lower term time frame of what we've seen over the past 24 hours, and then obviously moving on towards what I am foreseeing happening over the next, probably over the next few weeks. So it should be quite an interesting stream to build this up and then expand how one can look to approach this over the next few weeks of trading. So I truly do believe it's going to be very helpful. And yeah, I can already see you've absolutely smashed the likes. That's brilliant. 1,800 viewers, 1,500 likes. That's cheers to you all. Thank you ever so much. And let's begin. So the context that we're thinking of here is how we obviously have rows. And this is now obviously over, since we put in that low at $29,000, this is over the past 45 days. So about a month and a half, no, just under. So quite a rise, hasn't it? So what do you think? What is the context that we have seen in this rise? Well, there's a few ways that we can generate, the understanding of context here, so to speak. One way that we can look at this is deciphering, has this been a short squeeze? Or actually, is it more of a healthy increase? Well, if we come up to the daily time frame here, zoom out a little bit, what we're going to do is on this daily time frame, take a look at the open interest together. This is a really good way of working out, has this been a short squeeze, or has this actually been a very, healthy rise? Some people will argue that short squeezes are not necessarily healthy. They're not sustainable. Let's just say that. Okay, so if we, I'm just going to hide the D bars and we're going to expand this a little bit. We'll take off the footprint statistics, and we're really simply here looking at the open interest and the rise in price. So from my perspective then, would I say this has been a short squeeze? My answer is no. My answer is no, this hasn't been a short squeeze, okay? I know some people question me all the time, like how, the volume is not great. The thing is, yeah, the volume's not amazing, but I think I've explained that enough times already, why the volume has not increased. What we have to remember here is this open interest has actually started to, the open interest has obviously increased, okay? We had the initial decrease in open interest when we had that move up from 35,000 obviously all the way to 40,000. That quite a day. Obviously we were retraced back down the next day, and we continued with the higher highs and higher lows. So we had a little bit of a decrease in open interest on one daily candle, but from then we obviously went through our consolidation period, and ever since we broke out here, you can see the breakout increase in open interest on the breakout day, and then ever since we've obviously been grinding up with these higher highs and higher lows, e.g. bullish market structure, and really the open interest is taking off here very nicely. Okay, so this is, in my opinion, the rise here has not been a short squeeze. Okay, so that's just one thing that for me anyway, as a trader, is really, really, really important to, just take a quick look. We're on the daily time frame. What's the open interest like? Yeah, the open interest, in my opinion, is absolutely fine. Okay, it's absolutely what you might say healthy. Another thing that people maybe should look at, which maybe people don't look at too much, is the funding rate. And I do acknowledge we are becoming a little bit bearish on the funding rate here. I've already taken a look at this, but you can see here funding rate is getting high. Let's just say that. Currently on Bybit, we're looking at 0.03%, moving down to 0.2. BitMEX is going to be at 0.2% funding rate on the next period. We're seeing OKEX currently 0.6% funding, which is extremely high. Obviously, that is reaching back down to 0.2. The Bybit on the USDT pair currently 0.01. So if you really want to be in leveraged longs, you'd probably say Bybit is the best exchange though, because you're paying the lowest amount of fees. The other exchanges, that's against Tether. The other exchanges are all extremely high or will be high, as you see there on the next BitMEX. For me, this is just something to bear in mind, of course. You can continue up with these high funding rates, but you just have to remember that shorts, if you hold a short position, you are going to get paid. And if you hold a long position, you have to pay to hold that long. So the way the funding rate works, very briefly explained is, we're currently at Bybit, where I trade, of course, 0.32%. So that means if I want to hold a leveraged long, which I do hold leveraged longs still, okay? I haven't closed all my longs. But, on the leveraged longs that I hold, I am going to have to pay 0.32% of that position, and I'm trading with pretty big position sizes. So 0.3% every 8 hours, is a fairly large chunk of money. You're talking thousands of dollars paid out every 8 hours. But that, in my opinion, is the price of doing business. On the flip side, if you hold a short position at the moment, every 8 hours, you are going to be paid 0.32% of your short position. So you can see, approaching the resistances that we are approaching, and I will, I'm going to obviously cover this resistance as we move on in the stream. We are hitting it literally right now as we're speaking, but I will expand upon this. You have to remember, as we are approaching the resistance we are approaching, you are, in terms of funding, favoring, maybe you might favor to hold a short position maybe over the weekend. Maybe you don't want to trade, maybe you want to go away. Many people will say, hey, I'm going to short the weekend and come back Monday. Well, if you just times one short that portfolio, you are 100% guaranteed money by the time you come back on Monday. Because the funding rate, yes, you might lose Bitcoin. You have to remember, if Bitcoin does pump, you will lose Bitcoin. But with a times one short, you will lose none of your USD value. So you have to determine what is more important to you. But of course, this funding rate is definitely favoring short positions because shorts are getting paid. Okay, so you need to work that out yourself. Is it worth you not trading the weekend? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to sit in a times one short at this resistance? There's a lot of options that you can do, but you just have to bear in mind that that's what the funding rate is telling us. Okay, the funding rate is, the funding rate is bearish. Okay, so yeah, that's taking a look at the open interest. That's taking a look at the funding rate. Of course, I have to remind you all of this one because where did all this come from originally? Of course, the reason this whole short squeeze started all was from that trade of the week that we gave. This would have been back at around the start. Middle of July. Wow, I almost forgot the month there, but obviously July, all the way back when we were thinking of that move down below $30,000. We were extremely sure we breached $30,000. We obviously did breach $30,000, and ever since that happened around the middle end of July, this short squeeze has been, well, not the short squeeze, but this move up has been absolutely, obviously, incredible. Shout out to Igor, obviously, with the guy who actually called the exact low months in advance. Have to remind you of this one because we absolutely love Igor, and I'm going to remind you in a few weeks you're going to see some videos with Igor. We'll get Igor on the YouTube with us. We'll get Igor doing some videos. You're going to look forward to that, but you will get to see the absolute legend himself, the guy that called the short at $60,000 and called the low a month in advance of $28,000. Yes, that legend, he is going to be making some YouTube content with us and obviously members only videos. I'm absolutely sure of that. So yeah, look forward to that. That's the legend that done that call. I'm the legend. I'm not going to call myself a legend. I'm the guy that called that long, still in that long, by the way. That was trade of the week. And well, that's obviously how it's progressed. So that really gives us an idea of why we bounced off where we did. I want to say Igor, because Igor told us. And then why we done this secondary low, well, that was obviously the thought process behind trap all the shorts, get everybody bearish, bigger traders, using that fear, using that scaredness to fill extremely large long positions. And well, the rest is history. It's obviously brought us up to our next level of resistance. You have to remember, I will say this really quickly. A lot of people have been saying, oh, the volume is really low. The volume is really low on this rise. And you have to remember, in my honest opinion, the volume is so low on this rise because people are trapped on the sidelines. People are waiting for this massive crash, which has not come as of yet. People are saying, I'm waiting for the dip. 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 They're waiting for this dip that thus far has never came. The volume is low on this rise, yes, because many people are sat on the sidelines. And really, this is a controlled move up by your smart traders who recognize too long at the lows, who recognize what to do there. And, you could say it's unfortunate or not. I really would say it's good. Many people will say it's unfortunate. Retail sold the lows, missed out on pretty much all the move. Are they going to FOMO into the resistance? So what's the resistance? Hopefully you know this one. Let's load it up on the charts. So we've explained the low. Now let's explain the high. Fibonacci, CC. That is your Fibonacci retracement. I will tell you this. Fibonacci retracement taken from the 14th of April. That's the 14th of April high. Okay, the all-time high. Obviously sat at about 40, basically $65 $65,000. Yeah, $65,000. Take your Fibonacci high down to the low that was obviously put in on the 22nd of June, which was the low of about $28,700. Take your Fibonacci from that high down to the low, and you will see you have this, which we obviously refer to here as the CC Fibonacci resistance. This is a very, 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 very important level. Okay, it is an important level. It's not a level you ever want to forget about, and it's not a level that you really want to underestimate. This is a strong region of resistance. Okay, and it's clearly a very bad idea to open longs into this resistance. No, you have to think to yourself, is this a good, you know, I question you, I suppose. Do you think it's a good idea to long after an increase in price of 74%? Do you think that it's a good idea to open swing long positions into this resistance? Yeah? Think of that for yourself for a second. Do you think this is a good idea to open a swing long here? I don't know. What do you think? I'm pretty sure you know my opinion without even having to say it. Okay. So when we zoom down here onto a lower term time frame, let's come on to like let's come down to the 15-minute chart. We can see the respect that this Fibonacci level has. Okay, coming into that level just earlier this afternoon, 3:30ish, we hit the low of that CC Fibonacci. Let me just zoom in here so you can fully see this. We literally come in, we hit the low of that CC Fibonacci retracement, and we instantly, instantly get a absolute pullback. Okay, you have to remember, for day traders such as myself, this is a big move, but you can see the respect that this level has. It really cannot be forgotten. You're coming into that level absolutely spot on, and instantly you get bam, the instant market selling that comes into the market. Obviously the market tried to pull up once more and ultimately gave way. Where did it come up to? It came up to around, obviously, you can look at this as, again, the CC Fibonacci tracement, is working on every time frame. Come up to around that CC resistance and obviously pull back once more. So if you missed that first short, you could have got in, for example, on the retest. 9 times out of 10 you get the retest. Not always, of course. There's always 1 time out of 10 you don't get the perfect retest of consolidation, but 9 times out of 10, hey, 9 times out of 10. And we obviously got the retest here and another move to the downside, where you can see here on a very low time frame. Did we take this low? Yeah, we took the low there by $1. We took the low, literally, the low here is 50,290. That last low was 50,291. So you did take that low by $1, literally, and you're getting a little bit of support put showing up here on the absolute very low time frame. We're on the 3-minute time frame here. But of course, this is the big level that we're up against now, the CC Fibonacci retracement from the high down to the low, and I truly believe this is a level that you do just absolutely have to remind yourself of. It's extremely good, obviously, for your scalp traders. We've seen the resistance that hit instantly, pullback. Yeah, so basically this really is for me a very important level. If we look at let's come down here on the 15-minute chart again. So we are currently, so we had that bit of a pullback here. Let me just check something really quickly. No. So this is where we can see like the open interest. So obviously longs are getting so we on that next pullback, you can see here that a lot of longs opened on the first retest, to be fair, and then from here we basically, all right, the open interest is fairly flat. Okay, so we just come down on this template. This is where we can check for our divergences. Let's come down to like let's come down to the 10-minute chart here. Wow. Yeah, okay. You don't actually have any bullish divergences. So there's no bullish divergences. Obviously formed a little bit of bearish divergences on that retest of the CC as well. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, there's no bullish divergences yet. So that's just one thing I like to check. Then I like to check this template. And you don't really have anything here. Yeah, you haven't hit your major, any sort of big support. So, yeah, I think ultimately, I wouldn't really say this is, well, this retracement can retrace a little bit more, I think, in my opinion. Obviously, we have our daily level to be aware of, which has been a very well-respected level, to be fair. Obviously, it's been a bit of a resistance support flip, but that daily coming in at 49,900, I think, is an important level to be aware of. If we do get like a little bit more of a pullback here, then we obviously got to remember this daily. And where is our point of control coming in? Of this is coming in at, oh right, just below the daily. If we come up to the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so our point of control of this section is coming in at 49,600. If we look at it of this, let's come up to the 1 hour chart here. We pull it from here. Pull it from all of this. Pull it from here a second. And that's obviously all the way back at $46,000. So yeah, really we're looking at this last zone then, which gives us that's coming in at 48, basically 49,000. Well, we got a few levels to the downside then. No, we got obviously our daily itself, which is 49,900, which has been an SR flip. It's been a bit of resistance, bit of support, bit of resistance, bit of support. So it is a well-respected SR flip. So we got that daily. Then obviously below us, we're sitting down at around 48,950. Again, you might want to just write down these levels. They're things to be aware of. Those are your next two layers of support, in my opinion, to the downside. Very locally, of course, very locally. And then, well, surprise, surprise, our level of resistance there is, about 51,100. And then the top of that CC is coming in at exactly about, well, again, I don't want to say the exact dollar, because you can definitely view this as a zone. But the top of that CC is coming in at about 52,650. Okay, 52,650. Yes, and that's the way that I would be looking at this. In terms of your next layers of support to the downside, next layers of resistance to the upside. Of course, there's one other thing that you've got to remember, and this was for me extremely, what can we say? Extremely funny, extremely hilarious. If we come down to the 1 minute chart here, okay, I'm going to show you something that's really, really, really funny, and how trading really is against the masses. Okay, so this obviously equaled a 10% increase in price. I want to just show you something, and that is this section of the chart right here. And I've told you this how many times, like when we refer to longing here. Well, this is obviously in trade of the week, but I've always will say this: to know the best trades is to know what your competition are thinking, or to know what the majority of people are thinking. If the majority of people are thinking to themselves, way back here, we have broken down from the falling wedge, there is no longer a long. As we broke $30,000, a lot of people were saying we are going to $25,000. So at that moment in time, you have to think to yourself, the best long is when everybody is bearish, and the best shorts are obviously when everybody is bullish. Okay, so you want to trade against the majority, in my opinion. And this is something that is very, very, very interesting. That brings us back to where we are here in September. So for the people that don't know, it is helpful, in my opinion, to monitor or try and get an idea of what are the majority of people are thinking. What's the pattern everybody's looking at, for instance. And the thing that many people were thinking at the start of September was this. This is obviously from an account with over 1 million followers. I'm not going to name any names. Bitcoin's worst month ever. Urgent warning for September. I'm not sure how much you all view these sort of things, but there are a lot of people that were extremely bearish just because it's September. You have to remember, this is a total meme. How can you think that this is bad. We're in September. Hey, this is bad. We also had another one at the 31st of August, moving on to the 1st of September. Game over. Game over. Game over. Urgent warning. Worst month ever. These are the sort of things that you got to think to yourself. Today we'll be discussing an urgent warning for Bitcoin this September. These are the sort of things that you got to think to yourself. Well, if everybody's bearish, if everybody's looking at this, what we're looking at in the short term. Well, the short term, this is obviously what I was looking at. And I want to show you this partly because of just how absolutely brilliant this was. It's absolutely brilliant. And that was this tweet that I done here. Operation Shakeout. If you've been a subscriber of this channel for, at least a few months, you'll know I've talked about Operation Shakeout. Operation Shakeout was obviously back in May when we were trading at $50,000 and we were looking for the drop from $50,000 to $30,000 to basically shake people out before another rise to the upside. So obviously did have that shakeout. And then what do we want here? Now we have had that shakeout. We need to make retail believe September is bearish. Well, thank you ever so much for the help, people. And upon getting everybody bearish, let's go for the absolute massive pump. Okay. And what's going to happen? Once again, people are going to be left on the sidelines. The people that were bearish a few days ago will have a guess. They're probably in longs trying to long into resistance. No, because people miss the bottom and they're forced to FOMO into the highs. Whereas if you are longing the lows, you can take profit at the high and chill out a bit more. But the funny thing about here is this is the funny thing. See this tweet, 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Okay, you can go check this yourself. 5:30 p.m. on the 1st of September. The absolutely brilliant thing about this, it really was absolutely hilarious. 5:30 p.m. Shall we put on the little? We'll put on the little horizontal ray. Mark out 5:30. That was when the tweet was made, and then we absolutely exploded. So from doing the bullish tweet, and let me tell you, how many times have I done a really direct tweet like that? The last time I done a direct tweet like that was when I told you we were going to break down from $30,000. And if we didn't break $30,000, I was going to give away a Lamborghini. That was pretty direct. No, I'm going to give away a Lamborghini if we don't break $30,000. Well, surprise, surprise, we broke $30,000, filled my long, had an absolute pump. And the second time I done a direct tweet was on the 1st of September. And then literally 1 minute later, we saw an absolute massive pump to the upside. So yeah, all I will say, ladies and gentlemen, is if you do not have the alert set on this Twitter, you can go set alerts on Twitter. Basically, as soon as I tweet, you can get an alert. And I'll use Scott as an example. I think to get the alerts, you follow somebody and then you tick this little notify. And then basically you get notified as soon as I do a tweet. If you were notified about that tweet, well, you could have seen exactly what I was looking for. The pump, see people left on the sidelines. And within 1 minute, we saw an absolutely crazy big pump to the upside. And this was the gift that we made off of that. CC Paul leaving the station. Don't get left behind. Posted that in the champions group about 10 minutes before. Posted it on Twitter. And bam, we absolutely had an explosive mood. So that was pretty funny. But basically, where I'm going with this story is you have to think, like, what are the majority of people thinking? And I will expand upon this and say September could end bearishly. Yeah, September could end bearishly. But you have to think to yourself, there's absolutely zero reason to start. Why would you just trade off of something just because? What makes you come to the thesis of, yeah, September is bearish, so let's just short Bitcoin? It just makes absolutely no sense. It just really does make no sense. In my opinion, it makes no sense. So, at the end of the day, you just got to trade the charts. Trade the charts. Yeah. So there we go. I mean, obviously, another few things to bear in mind are the altcoins. I don't know. Do people want me to cover altcoins? The standout altcoins obviously at the moment are Ethereum is doing extremely well. Solana is doing extremely well. Litecoin today, absolutely taking off. Litecoin, yeah. Litecoin performer of the day, but Ethereum has been on a constant uptrend. Solana has also been on the constant uptrend. I don't know if people are interested in altcoins or not really. Let me know if you are, and I suppose I'll cover them for a little bit. I think, let me just see. Let me see what people are saying. Yeah, so people are interested in alts. So I suppose we can cover altcoins for a bit then as well. All I will say before we get into the altcoins is I suppose we'll just really quickly review the World Series of Trading. We are in the World Series of Trading right now. This is obviously the World Series of Trading event. Currently positioned 11th. That is 4th in England. Well, 4th out of the UK speakers, 11th overall. I am currently placed 5th in the team. My personal PNL on this competition at the moment is 174%. So obviously I have nearly tripled my account and I've only been trading 5 days. So it's pretty good going, I think, isn't it? No, 5 days trading, almost tripled my whole account. So, yeah, I mean, the Koreans, I mean, shout out to the Koreans. They are another level because these guys are doing like 800%. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. Respect where respect is due. I absolutely respect the Koreans because they are next level, to be fair. 800%. I'm happy with my 3 times the account. They have almost 8 times their account. Insane. But that said, of course, there's still another 13 days to go. We've been trading 5 days. There's 13 days to go. Of course, there's plenty of time for us to catch up. Currently in that 11th place. So yeah, I am looking forward to that. But honestly, massive respect to the Koreans. That is absolutely insane. That's just absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm currently 5th place in the team. Almost tripled my account. And the other thing that I wanted to remind you of before we get into, I suppose, to look at a few alts here, will be that, of course, we got another promotion going on with Bybit for being the Bybit affiliates, to celebrate them obviously launching now new pairs, AXS, Theta, Tron, Comp, XLM. There is a $3,650 giveaway on Bybit. This can be claimed by anybody if you are interested. Okay, you just obviously have to deposit, of course. It's not going to be totally free. You have to deposit some Bitcoin. If you do deposit some Bitcoin onto their exchange, 0.03 Bitcoin is $30 free, 0.3 Bitcoin, $300 free, 3 Bitcoin, $3,000 for free. And really simply, you can get a promotion with this if you're interested. I've left the link for the affiliate link in the comments section on YouTube. So if you click on that link, create a Bybit account, you can go across and claim that reward now. That is up to $3,650. If you join our World Series of Trading team, that will get you another potential $50 on top of it, and then obviously you get $600 from the rewards hub. And I'm pretty sure. Give me 10 seconds more because I do want to check. Is this actually still open for registration? I am not sure. Join. Okay, cool. So yeah, the registration is still open for the late registration of the team. So if you still want to join our team, there's absolutely time. You will also get, on top of the $3,650 bonus, you can also get 10% off your trading fees via joining our World Series of Trading team. So yeah, if you haven't already, go make a Bybit account, sign up with our affiliate link, and you can get a lot of free money. Of course, with a deposit. It's not for doing nothing. Make the deposits up to 3 Bitcoin, or if you want to deposit 500 Bitcoin, be my guest. And yeah, that's that. So take a look at Ethereum then, I suppose. Yeah, let's do Ethereum. So let me just take a quick drink. So ETH. This is one I remember looking at the other day in the contenders stream, and we were obviously saying to ourselves, Ethereum is probably going to move up more. Why? Because it hadn't hit the weekly, and now we obviously are at this weekly zone. Again, we are slightly above the weekly, but what you do have to remember is you would generally want to see more of a higher time frame close above the weekly than just like a daily candle. You know, if you get a weekly close above the weekly, then it's a little bit better. But in Ethereum, it was pretty insane. We obviously moved up, formed a rising wedge. Again, what's everybody looking at on the rising wedge? They were looking for a short. I personally said to my team, I am not short in Ethereum here. I am looking for higher. I'm staying in my longs. Made it very, very, very clear. I'm looking up for the weekly. And what a surprise, exactly as predicted. We moved up to the weekly. So this, of course, is a very important level of resistance. We're obviously above the level at the moment. But again, we might want to wait to see some nice actual high-term time frame closes above the weekly. Otherwise, we can, of course, still get the pullback. Things to bear in mind on Ethereum is this is directly correlated to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does reject from the CC and drops, Ethereum USD is definitely, let's just say very likely, going to drop as well. So this is highly, highly, highly dependent on Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin is to continue to move up, well, Ethereum is probably going to go back for its all-time highs. No, this is the all-time high on Ethereum, so it's very, very, very close to all-time highs. But we had a few major levels to get through. We obviously had the monthly on ETH BTC, which it's got through. And then we obviously had the weekly here on Ethereum, which it has got through. So this is a massively, massive important level. If we come down on a lower term time frame, we can see that we actually got through the weekly. We back tested it absolutely perfectly for another rise in price. And do not underestimate these scalps, by the way. That's another increase in price of nearly 3% in itself. But yeah, that support is truly important. And that's obviously coming in at $3,928. If we lose the weekly here, it's probably because Bitcoin is pulling back. Let's be honest. It's very likely it's because Bitcoin's pulling back. Yeah, and we probably would look to pull back to around that point of control zone, taking around these lows. It would seem like a fairly, I'd say this is definitely going to be looking at your support. Look, we would do a potential swing failure pattern of these lows, and we would hit the point of control. So again, if we lose that weekly, a sensible place to look for would be, in my opinion, about 3,000, say probably into those order blocks. So I would say about 3,760-ish. Again, don't look at that as an exact dollar. Look at this as a little bit of a zone. But you would have to say, in terms of technicals, you have the potential for the swing failure pattern into the POC. So yeah, that gives about $3,760, in my opinion, as a support. Of course, our first support here is the weekly. And now we have broken it. It is support. But if we do end up losing that, and that will be because Bitcoin is pulling back. It's got to be because of that. Then we would know our next level to the downside. And that's really the way that I would approach Ethereum. I must admit, I think you definitely need to look at Bitcoin for this. Again, Bitcoin really hasn't done a really big rejection here. Let's be honest. You know, it's hit into the low of the CC and it's got a pullback. I think let's be honest, we were expecting it to get a pullback here. It wasn't like it was just going to go straight through it with zero reactions. If you've been looking at the CC literally over the past week, every time frame that from the 1 minute chart upwards, like the CC has been really extremely well respected. Like it's absolutely crazy how well it's being respected. So on the 1 minute chart, this Fibonacci gets respected. So of course up here on the daily, weekly chart, it's gonna get respected. So it's no real surprise that we got a pullback here. The only thing is that I just want to remind you that I do definitely think it's a potential that we just kind of get. You could almost say it's a bull. You could almost say this is a bear trap, yeah, where people are thinking to themselves, oh, this is really bearish. We're hitting into the CC. There's a really big, this is a really big resistance. And it does just do the sort of pullback off of the level. But then in the end, it just kind of pumps through it almost. So, that is kind of the way I'm thinking. That, yes, this is a level. We have to respect this level. We cannot ignore it. We cannot forget about it. But it does, in my opinion, build into the fact so many people are probably going to know it's there. How well do you really think it's going to work out? There's just one thing to bear in mind. And this is what I mean by will September end bearishly? Because of course we could just see a move up, and September is looking really, really, really good, and then see the massive, a massive drop. So it will be interesting to see how September ends. Absolutely, I will be interested to see how September ends. But obviously at the moment, overall things are obviously looking absolutely fine. We are still in a massive uptrend. We are still seeing decent open interest. We are still seeing altcoins doing well. We are seeing the space in general doing well. We are seeing the stock market continuing to do well. Yeah, even gold today is up over 1%. So the markets in general are doing very, 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 very well. So yes, we are at a CC resistance. It's not a level I'm going to forget about. It's not a level I'm going to ignore. It is a level I will respect. But I don't necessarily think that we are going to get a massive rejection from here. Let's just say that. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, if we start to lose support, probabilities change. But probabilities right now are obviously very nice to the upside. So take that for what you will. It depends how good you can read my brain. If you can read my brain good, then you got a bit of an advantage there. If you can't, then hey, time to learn. But yeah, obviously, in my opinion, all altcoins follow Ethereum. So if Ethereum is doing very well, if Ethereum is performing well, then of course the alts in general are going to perform well. I think I've said this quite well. My standout alts have obviously been Tezos. Obviously, I've recently been trading quite a bit of Solana. Obviously, Litecoin is starting to pick up again now. EOS is starting to pick up. I'm not long on EOS, by the way. But EOS it looks like it's going to start picking up. Atom and Algo and GRT obviously are, but I don't trade these on Bybit. But really shout out ones have obviously been Tezos as being brilliant. And I mean that fractal was just insane. No, that fractal that I found has been something else. It's just absolutely incredible, you have to admit. But yeah, Tezos has been brilliant. We have. Yeah, I think it all depends on Ethereum here. If Ethereum can maintain the weekly, this is what I say. If Ethereum can maintain the weekly and head up to all-time highs, obviously you would be aware of a swing failure pattern of all-time high. But should Ethereum maintain well, reaches 4,500, I think you're going to look like a very, very, very bullish time for alts. It's probably going to be like one of those times where you can almost throw a dart at an altcoin board and probably make money off of them. It does signal the end. It does kind of signal like the end is near. When it reaches that kind of stage where you can literally just buy anything. You start to see people saying never short. I'm just buying anything and it's going up. Never short, never short, never short, never short. Generally is when you want to actually start shorting. But so far, obviously, there has been no rejection on Ethereum. Ethereum is above the weekly. So we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. So while Ethereum is doing well, while Ethereum holds support, while it's moving up, while it's holding support levels, I echo my words that I gave, what would have this been? Friday. Would have been earlier this week on Wednesday. I'm still not going to short Ethereum here. I am not short on Ethereum, yeah? I am long on Ethereum. I'm leveraged long on Ethereum. So, while there is no weakness, what's the point in shorting? And there's just absolutely no need. So, yeah. If we lose support, if Ethereum fakes out and loses the weekly, well, I look down to my next level of support. If we lose this, well, obviously things can change. We can update our biases. We can update our perspectives. But trading what we have is obviously what we want to do, because how many times do you see massive uptrends and people are just trying to short and short and short and short and short? No, once you got a trend, you obviously have to trade the trend. You're going to lose more money trying to fight the trend. So trade with the trend, but the trend is currently up. So of course there's scalp trades to be had. I'm not short on Ethereum. If I miss the top of it, I'm really not bothered. I'll be more annoyed about missing the top on Bitcoin. Ethereum, I'm not that bothered. But while it stands, you're above the monthly on the BTC pair, and you're obviously above the weekly on the USD pair. Bitcoin, of course, we all know we're at the CC resistance. This is a little bit easier to trade, let's be honest. Yeah, there we go. Is there anything else that I really wanted to cover here? Very Is there anything else that I was looking for? I don't really think there was. I might wrap this one up. I've covered the main things that I wanted to cover in this stream. I wanted to talk you through how we approach the low to the high. We've obviously covered that. We've covered looking at the open interest. We've covered looking at the funding rates. We've covered the CC resistance that we're at. And I honestly believe this is a big important level. I've covered a quick look at Ethereum of why I remain with a bullish bias, why I remain in longs, why I'm in no shorts, while we hold support. If we lose support, I'm more than open to changing my bias on that. But as it stands, that's how I'm trading it. So I've also covered that. I've covered how going into September, we had people getting bearish. The tweet that I done 1 minute later, absolute massive pump. That was absolutely crazy. Yeah, so I pretty much covered everything that I really wanted to in this live stream. Yeah, I suppose if you want to get the bonuses on Bybit, head over to the Discord, sign up with the links, and you can make use of that. If you want to join the World Series of Trading team, that seems to be available for another probably 24 hours, I think. So yeah. If there's any questions, let's just do a few minutes of questions if there is any. ARK says, wanted you to show it on stream for all the haters. I'm not sure what you wanted me to show, by the way. I'm going to have to look through see if I can see another comment. No worries. You're absolutely more than welcome. Cover Luna. I'm not going to cover all these random altcoins, by the way. Yeah, this is a good question, I suppose, to end up. What will make me change my bias? Well, kind of similar to my bias. Obviously, my bias on Ethereum, for example, is bullish. I'm in longs. I'm in no shorts. So what would make me change my bias on this? Well, obviously, step number one, you have to remember, we're in a massive uptrend on every single time frame you look at. So step number one of changing my bias would obviously have to be losing support. So while we are above support, while we were in an uptrend, while market structure is bullish, isn't it it's a bad idea to get bearish? So, you know, the question of what would make me change my bias from bullish to bearish? Well, of course, it has to be losing support, no? Or at least seeing a big rejection. The thing is, there has been no rejection. We are actually above resistances. So it makes no sense to have a bearish bias, in my opinion. Yeah, you might, you know, if you short here and I short after a loss of support, yeah, you might get like a 5% better entry than me, but I really couldn't care about missing the top 5%. If we're actually getting a proper trend change, and it's like, yeah, who cares? If you miss the first 5% of this and then you make a trade, you know, on a swing trade and gain the next 20%, it really doesn't matter about missing the first 5%. So yeah, for me to change my bias, I would need to see some sign of weakness. You just don't even have that on any time frame you look at. There's no sign of weakness. That would be the first thing, you know, that would be the first thing. You know, you could say the same applies to Bitcoin. After bullish bias, there has been no real weakness here. Yes, we hit into the CC resistance, which of course was a scalp short position, but it doesn't mean we're necessarily expecting a massive retracement from here. A massive retracement. Of course, we expect a bit of a retracement, and we've got a bit of a retracement, to be fair. So, you know, the same on, just kind of, you can echo the thoughts on Bitcoin as I'm saying on Ethereum, really. While we hold, you know, even here, look at the monthly resistance broken. We are now above the monthly level. Of course, you can lose these levels, and that's where you can adapt to the market as it's progressing. But yeah, I mean, while we're holding bullish market structure, while we're above resistance, what's the point in being bearish? Lose those levels, of course, I'm open to changing my bias, but currently we're above it. So, yeah, I suppose If you want to see more from me, I'll obviously go. I do go much more in depth in terms of doing the technical analysis on the Sunday live streams. So if you want to see more, I got a live stream on Sunday. Obviously, that's for the champions, chartchampions.com, where I will go through giving my opinions on the charts, doing the technical analysis, explaining what I'm looking for. The last trade of the week that I actually entered was this one back in July. So you have to remember the Chart Champions trade of the week. You're not going to get it every single week because sometimes we don't get the entry. Sometimes there is just no good trade that you can see on the charts. So the last one I literally took was back in July. So we have gone a few months with no actual trade of the week. And that's just part of the game. The thing that you do have to remember, though, although we haven't hit an entry since that, I am still in that long position. That has seen absolutely incredible profits, like literally 7,000% profits. But the thing is, I have been telling my team, I did not do a trade of the week for shorts. So all of this rise, although we have not got an entry, I have at least made sure nobody has short, or at least I was telling my team, I'm not shorting any of this. I have not given a single trade of the week that is a short position, not off the range high, not even when we were looking to trade this as a range. I did not give the range high as a short, and obviously we broke up. So I'm pretty good at reading the overall picture of the market, where we're going. So if you want to see that in a more in-depth, where we use our Fibonacci and all this, then yeah, that's for Sunday. Maybe we'll get a trade of the week this week. We'll have to see how this CC level goes. But yeah, I suppose I'll just say that. Thank you ever so much, everybody. If you want to smash the likes, you can smash them. If you want to leave a comment, you can leave a comment. And I will just say that with the final words, my friends. It's like I said the other day. If you find something that you love, I mean, at the end of the day, I could go on talking about trading all day. Literally, I could just stay on here for hours, just talk and talk and talk and talk. The thing that stops me is my throat. Unfortunately, I have a big throat problem where I cannot talk too long, like over an hour. It starts just hurting. Otherwise, I could literally talk about it all day. But I do this all day trading. But luckily, I don't have to speak all day. But I mean, where am I going with this, you might ask? All I'm saying is I love trading. This is my passion. And I hope via these videos, you can maybe use this as like inspiration. There's two types of people in the world. The type of people that will sit here and complain saying, oh, you're just bragging. Oh, you're just showing off. And there's the type of the people that will see that and they're like, wow, I want to be like this guy. Inspirational. No, that's pretty inspirational to know that you can predict such moves, that you can make such insane amount of money. I mean, in the World Series of Trading, 3 times in an account in 5 days of trading, to know that that's possible, to know that, I just feel that if you've got the right mindset, and I would have thought, we got over 2,000 people watching, like the people that are here for signals have probably already clicked off the video because they've acknowledged that there's probably no signals here. But the people that, if you have to think to yourself, if you are still watching this video, if you've made it through the hour, then you are, I truly believe you've got the right mindset. Yeah. Your mindset must be in the right place because you've got a better attention span than the majority of people who are clicking off after 5 minutes. You got to remember, if you've got the attention span, that's step one. Then you have to understand what you're doing here. Have the long-term plan, have the long-term goals, set a goal, stick to it. And, if I can be here and give you inspiration, that's what I'm trying to do. Inspire. Yeah, I suppose inspire and help and educate people. Because I honestly just love what I do. I just love it. So I truly hope when I do these videos, it is of help. I honestly do hope it is of help. Otherwise, I know it is of help. I mean, it's not really a question. I know it's of help because I see the comments every single day. So, for me, I'm just more than happy to come on here, help you out, chill, and just, have some fun. Have some fun, because that's the main thing. Now, you want to have fun. You want to enjoy yourself. And when you enjoy yourself, life is brilliant. Life is good. Life is good. So, yeah. You watching this right here, I truly hope that you love these videos. I absolutely love making them for you. And let's crush the charts together. No, let's just continue to crush these charts. I want to end with something like really nice and really inspirational. What can I do to really lovely sending off of this video? I'm feeling the love, I'm just feeling, I want to end with something that feels really good. I just get this sometimes. Just feel like really good. I want to end in a really nice way. Now, I suppose I'll end with this. Because I know there's some people that struggle. Obviously I've kind of talked about this video of, I'm not laughing at people, but saying a lot of people have missed the move. Maybe you are one of those people, maybe you are one of those people. But I suppose I'll end with this. I, with 100% certainty, would have been one of those people. You have to remember, a lot of people say to me all the time, like, Daniel, you only show your winners. You never show your losers. Well, the God's honest truth is that I'm really not taking a lot of losers. That is just the God's honest truth. Yeah. Hand on heart. I'm just not taking a lot of losses. But you have to remember, how have I got to this stage? People are always on my back. You only show your winners. But it's like, I've got to this stage because I absolutely took a lot of losses when I was learning. Yeah. I didn't get to this stage on trading overnight. I didn't get to this stage by following signal groups. I didn't get to this stage where I am in my trading career from doing nothing. No, I got to this stage by putting in hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, yeah? Doing times 10 the amount of work than what the guy next to me wants to do, yeah? So I just always think it's really important to remind people, trading is a game for anybody. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's pressing buy and pressing sell. Anybody can do this. Literally anybody can do this. So what's the difference? If anybody can do this, why are so many people still losing? Well, the majority of people are still losing because first, they are just gambling. Yeah, people come to the markets. Hey, I'll buy or sell. I'm going to win or I'll lose. And they literally just have a gambler's mindset. Hey, that's fine if you want to gamble. Obviously, we do not promote gambling. But you've got your second set of people that are so fixated on the math, so fixated on wanting to understand what's going on here. That's like myself. It's intriguing. The markets are intriguing. The markets obviously are this lovely space where you are just in full control of what you're doing. But you have to remember, you do not get to be successful. You do not get to come onto videos like I do. And many people say it's bragging. For me, it's just like, this isn't me bragging, saying, look at this entry, look at me, aren't I so good? No, this is me saying, I have put in millions of dollars. I've put in so much time and money into trading. This is me celebrating. This is me showing you what you can achieve. I don't have any need to come on and brag. And people will always say, oh, Daniel's so egotistical. He is such a bragger. I don't need anybody else to tell me I'm good or anybody else to tell me I'm bad. I'm just doing me. This is just me. And people take it the wrong way. I'm just very confident, I suppose. And this is just, it's just like when you've worked at something so hard, man, it feels good to win. Let me just tell you that. It feels good to win. But where I'm going back to the original story is, just remember, I took thousands and thousands of losses, yeah? You have to take those losses to realize what you're doing wrong. Yeah, I've always said this. Instead of looking at every loss as a disappointment, every L of a loss is a lesson. Yeah, and instead of taking the losses and moving on, take the loss, realize what went wrong, and realize what you need to do to improve. Yeah, remember, have realistic expectations. This is not going to happen in 1 month. It's probably not going to happen in 6 months. It's probably not going to even happen in 1 year. I'm totally honest with you. It's very unlikely that you're going to become a profitable trader in 1 year. You have to be looking towards, the longer picture. You're talking 12 months, you should be starting to do well, but 12 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Just imagine where you are right now. And imagine where you could be in 5 years. 5 years is not a lot of time. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you have 5 years. And if you can absolutely change your life in 5 years, why would you want to take the shortcut? Yeah? You cannot take shortcuts in these things. It's like if you want to become a doctor, You cannot take a shortcut to become a doctor and be like, you know, this is 5 years medical practice, but I'm just gonna I think I'm gonna become a fully fledged professional doctor in 2 years. Which is not gonna happen, is it? And you have to go through the training. You have to do 5 years at least. It's the same in trading. If you think you can cut corners, if you think you can just get around this by not doing statistics, if you think you can get around this by, you know, playing your luck, you know, it's probably not going to work out in the long term. But if you have the right mindset, if you understand, you know, where I am here and where I am going to be in 5 years, if you have that right positive mindset, hey, I truly believe you can absolutely achieve anything. I truly believe you can achieve anything. Yeah. If anybody ever says you can't do something, prove them wrong. That's the best way to silence a hater. Prove them wrong. So yeah, I mean, very off topic, but yeah, I just want to remind people. Obviously, I am taking losses. It's not like I have a 100% win rate, but I keep my losses so small. It's not even hardly worth talking about, sort of thing. It's like, yeah. Basically, that's basically what I wanted to do in this stream. Thank you there, Jason Casper. Thanks for the stream, Daniel. I hope sometime to be as good of a trader as yourself. $200 donation. Jason, thank you very much, my friends. That is very much appreciated. I see. Yeah, that's honestly, thank you. Thank you, my friends. And hey, that's the thing. His comment is, I hope to someday be as good of a trader as yourself. Well, the answer is, of course, there's absolutely no reason why you can't be. I will say this once, I'll say it again. I am nothing special. I am absolutely nothing special. I'm just a hardworking, just putting the hard work. That is, in my opinion, what separates me from the other traders. I put in more hours. I put in more effort. And it's not a special. It's not something I was born with. You know, I don't think this is a, you know, something you're born with. It's something you have to work towards. So yeah, I suppose I'll end on that note. My deepest thanks to you all. And I just want to end. Just want to end and say thank you, I suppose. Cheers, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I want to just like meditate now and just. Life is good. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Goodbye. Cheers. No, to be serious, I'll end it by just saying I'm probably going to go over on Twitch and play some games if you want to chill on Twitch with me for a bit. It's only 8 o'clock. But obviously I'm not going to do that on this YouTube stream. So yeah, I'm probably going to go over on Twitch now. Give me half an hour break. I'll be over on Twitch, to be honest. And we'll chill out on Twitch, talk some Bitcoin, play some games, and just nerd out. So yeah, cheers everybody. Thank you ever so much. Have a good day. And yeah, I'll catch you on Sunday if you're in the Champions live stream. So thank you ever so much. Have a good weekend. And goodbye.